In the vast, undulating expanse of the Mongolian steppes, where the horizon melts into the endless blue sky, lies a small encampment of nomadic herders. These herders are known for their resilience and deep connection to the land. They experience the changing seasons, the shifting herds, and the whispers of the wind, but occasionally, they recount tales that chill the soul, stories of spirits that roam the steppes after sunset. One such tale is that of Old Man Ganbator, a revered elder of the community. Ganbator was known for his vast knowledge of the region, the landscape, and the traditions of his forebears. He spent countless nights listening to the wind as it danced across the grass, and he would share stories by the flickering flame of the fire, captivating the younger generations with tales of their ancestors and the mysteries of life and death. As the winter of 1985 approached, a severe blizzard swept across the steppe, isolating Ganbator's family and sealing them within the confines of the gur, a traditional Mongolian yurt. The winds howled, and the icy cold seeped into their bones. Later on, as the storm raged, Ganbator noticed an unusual stillness in the air. He would often hear soft whispers, floating on the wind just beyond the entrance of the gur. At first, he dismissed them as tricks played by the storm, but as night deepened, the whispers grew more insistent. Bator, Bator, the voices called, echoing in the darkness. Ganbator's heart raced as he stirred from his sleep. He sensed a presence, not entirely corporeal, lingering just outside. Memories flooded his mind of ancestors long gone, figures etched into his memory, his grandfather, his uncle, and even those whom he had lost to the unforgiving climate and harsh life of the steppes. He got up, wrapped a heavy cloak around himself, and stepped out into the storm, the bitter cold biting against his skin. Outside, the snow swirled in blinding gusts. Visibility was nearly non-existent, yet he felt an urge to follow the voices. He shouted into the wind, "Who calls me?" But the tempest drowned his voice. Ganbator pressed on, the white ground slipping beneath his feet, his heart beating with a mix of fear and determination. As he wandered deeper into the storm's grasp, Ganbator suddenly stumbled into a clearing. Here, the snow seemed to halt momentarily, as if the storm itself yielded to something unseen. In the center of the clearing stood a silhouette, a figure dressed in traditional costume, the flowing edges of the attire almost shimmering against the snowfall. It was a woman, with long hair that swayed like the grasses of summer, her eyes shimmering like stars on a cloudless night. "Bator," she said softly, her voice soothing and melodic, "you must listen to me." Though he was terrified, Ganbator felt an overwhelming sense of peace emanating from her presence. "Who are you?" he asked, trembling. "I am the spirit of the steppe," she replied, her smile warm yet sorrowful. "I come to guide the lost souls back to their resting place, but tonight, there is a story that must be told." As the wind howled around them, she began to recount a tale, a history of their people intertwined with loss and longing, of how the unforgiving land had claimed many lives and the spirits remained tethered to the world. Her voice wove images of old battles, family disputes, and a great love that was never fulfilled, leaving a heart forever trapped in the cold. "You must remember us," the spirit insisted, "or we will never find peace." Ganbator listened intently, entranced by her words, yet an unsettling thought worked its way into his mind. How did she know his name? Was this specter tied to his family, to his lineage? As the tale unfolded, he could hear the echoes of his lost loved ones calling for him, begging not to be forgotten. Suddenly, the wind picked up again, howling fiercely, twisting the scene around them into a blinding whirl. The spirit's voice became frantic, "You must choose. You can either return to your family or stay with me and help the others cross over. But no, once you choose, there is no turning back." Torn between his settled life, with his family relying on him, and the opportunity to help these lost souls find their peace, Ganbator hesitated. In that infinitesimal moment, he thought of his grandchildren, still curious about the world. He thought of the warmth of the fire in his gur, the laughter of his loved ones. How could he leave that behind? With a burst of resolve, he shouted into the storm, "I choose my family. I will remember you, and I will tell your stories." With those words, the wind howled one last time, and the figure of the spirit began to dissolve into the snow, shimmering like frost in the morning light. Ganbator felt a surge of strength and warmth as he sprinted back toward his gur, fueled by the urgency of his choice. When he finally pushed the door of the gur aside, the familiar scent of mutton stew filled the air, and the soothing murmur of his family wrapped around him like a warm embrace. They were unaware of the storm outside, nestled snugly in the light's gentle glow. His heart swelled with gratitude, and he knew he would remember the spirit's tale, her somber eyes, and every life that had been touched by the unyielding steppe. Over the years, Ganbator collected tales of those who had passed, honoring their memories. He became a storyteller, sharing both the history of his people and the whispers he had heard that night during the blizzard. The younger generations began to gather around the fire, mesmerized by his stories of love, loss, and courage, the gifts of fate upon the very spirits that lingered on the steppe. Reaching the end of his tale one winter's evening, he looked deep into the eyes of his grandchildren and said, "Remember their names, listen to their stories, for they are the shadows that walk among us, and we are the keepers of their legacy." As the fire crackled and the night deepened, Ganbator sensed a whisper on the breeze, a promise to keep, a love to nurture, and the eternal ties that bind generations across the vastness of the steppes. And in that silence, he could almost hear the spirits sigh in relief, knowing they would never be forgotten.